Am I Crockett or am I Tubbs? Have to decide. You can decide on today's edition of the program. It's Miami Vice, New Orleans style. All right, I'm not Crockett or Tubbs. It's Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Weekend number 2 of Jazz Fest. Can I get a yeah, you right out of you? Yeah, you right. Fired up. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. A little bit after 4 o'clock. 2 big hours coming your way on the radio. Live streaming, YouTube, Corey Johnson, the Neutral Ground. 90 minutes of fun coming your way on television. That's right. The talk radio program, live on the radio, simulcast on television. Cox Channel 4 TV, all over Louisiana. Spectrum, Channel 333 television, all over Louisiana till 5:30. Did I mention it was Fantasy Friday? That Friday part? Did I mention weekend number 2 of Jazz Fest? Yeah, weekend number 2, Jazz Fest 2023. Day 4 of 7 days of Jazz and Heritage Festival. Fired up about that. Be heading there tomorrow or Sunday. You know what was great about today and still going on right now at Jazz Fest? Rain was predicted pretty much for more hours of the day from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. as of this time yesterday. More hours of the day, the 8 hours of Jazz Fest, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., more hours of rain in the forecast than not. And so far, I think pretty high and dry, no rain out in Gentilly, no rain at Jazz Fest. Gotta love that. May have had a little rain out in Gentilly at 5, 6, 7 in the morning, but no rain out in Gentilly for a few hours before the gates opened, and no rain today. And when it's cloud cover and there's a breeze blowing and there's no direct sunlight, yet it's not going to rain, that's a damn nice afternoon in South Louisiana, on the Gulf Coast, in New Orleans. I love the sun. I love blue skies. I like low humidity and low temperatures, comfortable temperatures when it's sunny and blue skies. If it's going to be sunny and blue skies and oppressively hot and very humid to boot, I would rather thick cloud cover with no rain and a nice breeze blowing. And that's what you're getting. So today is turning into a great weather day at Jazz Fest, comfort-wise. Don't have to worry about the sunblock as much. Not sweating through your clothes. Pretty good stuff on this Fantasy Friday. Hey, the 4 o'clock hour, by the way, brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. You folks may be just landing on the station right now in your rental car, tooling around town, in the Uber, seeking, scanning on the radio dial. Thanks for finding us. Thanks for listening. USA Today had a top 10 list of must-go-to New Orleans restaurants for a tourist, a traveler, in for a few days. So it can't be all high-end. It can't be all low dollar. Can't be all middle of the road. It's a mix of, hey, you're in for 5-6 days in New Orleans. Here's 10 places you got to go. Katie's was on that list because it's just a yaddy, New Orleans, real, authentic type of place for the city. Not a tourist destination per se. It's not a bunch of nasty T-shirts and Mardi Gras junk they're selling at some, gift shop. It's an eclectic New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Iberville, corner Tallahassee, in the heart of Mid-City. I love Scott Craig, the owner-operator. More is better, more of the good things. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. A really great place to pop in before and after Jazz Fest. Really close to Jazz Fest. Get yourself some good food, a Bloody Mary. Get started at Katie's or finish up your Jazz Fest at Katie's in Mid-City. Perfect to bring in you and your pals, a group, friends, family. They'll take care of you. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Katie's. Hey, I've got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. 1 week from this Sunday. Hey, guys, 9 days away. 9 days till Mother's Day. It's a week from this Sunday. You don't avoid it. You don't try to get through it without doing anything. You take care of her. It's the mother of your children, for crying out loud. I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates, some trivia questions. You got answers? I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 504, the area code. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Fantasy, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. 766-9480. Who started Jazz Fest in 1970? His production company, Jazz Fest 1970. Give me the name. I got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa, one of the 5 area locations for you. 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore, 1 in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. WoodhouseSpas.com. What happens at the Allison Minor Music Heritage Stage? At the Jazz and Heritage Festival, what happens at the Allison Minor Music Heritage Stage? What takes place there? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Official name of the primary corporate sponsor of Jazz Fest. Their official handle. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. You got answers to any of these questions, Jazz Fest oriented? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. The price of a 1970 Jazz Fest ticket. What would become Armstrong Park, part of the Treme neighborhood back in the day, close to Congo Square, if not at Congo Square. 1970 Jazz Fest ticket price. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. What was the original name of the Jazz Fest back in 1970? And what made the 1979 Jazz Fest unique? What made the 1979 Jazz Festival unique? Give me the answer to any of those Jazz Fest-oriented questions. I got 50 big bucks for you at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Mid-City, New Orleans, Metairie near North Kenner, Slidell, Mandeville, Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. Yeah, you right. Hey, our Humane May fundraiser going on all month. HumaneLA.org. Don't just listen to me say this every day. Knock it out. Get it over with. Get that debit card out, that ATM card, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, whatever you can afford. It goes to a great cause. You're helping out animals. You're helping Louisiana pick up the slack where we lack, where we're just terrible, where we suffer, treating animals humanely. HumaneLA.org. Step up and donate to our fundraiser. We're trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May for the Humane Society of Louisiana. If you go to their website, HumaneLA.org, you can donate. Check them out on Facebook, Humane Society of Louisiana on Facebook. You see what they do. You read the captions under the photographs. You'll donate. HumaneLA.org. humanela.org, our Humane May fundraiser going on all month long. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. That means Fletcher Mackel. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Fletcher Mackel joins us next from WDSU Channel 6 Sports. Michael Hecht is about 20 minutes away. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. Frank Brigtsen will join us in the 5 o'clock powwow from his restaurant in the Riverbend. Yeah, you're right. Corey Johnson with you. Coming right back with Fletcher Mackel and a whole lot more. Don't move. Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family-owned and operated, Leidenheimer French bread.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
River Cities. Total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Crawfish season, that means Rouse's Markets. You want them live by the sack, take them home, take them to your party, boil them, do it yourself. Got a buddy who's a boil master. Live by the sack, crawfish at your neighborhood Rouse's Markets. You want them hot from the pot, ready to eat? No messing around. I don't want to boil them. I just want to eat them. For generations, for decades, Rouse's family members have been boiling crawfish. They know what they're doing. Hot from the pot, boiled crawfish all day long at your neighborhood Rouse's Market. It's crawfish season, best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home because it is. Crawfish season at your neighborhood Rouse's Markets. Fletcher Mackel joins us again. Fridays with Fletcher from WDSU, Channel 6 Sports. What's up, Fletch?
Not a lot, Corey. How are you?
Doing well, man. I think a nice day out there. This is almost better than if you would ask me like 85 degrees, hot and humid and sunny, or overcast but no rain. I'll take this weather over that hot, humidity, sunny stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, it rained a little bit this morning, but it hasn't rained since. And you're right, the kind of haze has made it. You know, I live on the bayou right by Jazz Fest, and it was hot yesterday. I went out for Locals Day, but today it's hot, but it's not nearly, insufferable or where you're like, whoa, it's going to be, that I guess that first aid tent probably is dealing with less dehydration cases today because, yeah, it's far more manageable today. That's
so weird. You were at Locals Thursday? Gosh, I didn't see any pictures you posted on Twitter of yourself out there.
I did see a few people and they have posted a couple of pictures.
I was disappointed you weren't wearing shorts with either the maroon or green coat.
Wait, what?
The maroon or green coat, the suit.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Shorts maybe with like the white bucks, those white buck shoes, shorts, and either the maroon or green coat. I was kind of bummed out. You had on like regular Jazz Fest attire.
Simplicity. Just simplicity yesterday. I did have a silly Jazz Fest hat though.
You did what?
I did have kind of a silly Jazz Fest hat. So that's about it.
No one, but those things are necessary. Fletch, I play golf and I've had a couple of skin cancer things cut off of me, like 2 on my face, 1 on my shoulder. I mean, who wants that? I wear the biggest, floppiest ladies hat. I mean, if I went into a golf shop and they had, like, this is from Gone with the Wind. It's for a woman. And it was one of those big old hats, the big floppy hat. I'd buy that hat and wear it. I'm wearing a big old floppy hat. So I don't know. Unless it's like a big sombrero that's made to put on a table and serve food out of it. I don't know if any kind of big hat can be a problem, keeping the sun off of you. Especially as we get older, Fletch.
Yeah. I agree. As Rodney Dangerfield said, you get a free bowl of soup with that hat. I mean, those jokes are like, I'm all for that. Like, if it protects me from the sun at this point, I don't really care if somebody wants to say, look at that hat.
Now, where did you get the hat? Like Meyer the Hatter, or from like a gas station or somewhere in between?
So you know what the funny thing is, I mean, I have bought hats at Meyer the Hatter before, but the hat that this one came from, I can't think of the name of it. It's in Lakeview. My brother lives in Lakeview. It's like a marine, like a fishing place. It's right next to Lakeview.
West Marine or whatever, right there.
Yeah. West Marine. Yeah.
Nice.
It's like so I guess it's technically like a fishing or a sailing hat. If you're out on the boat in the sun. So it's like a big fishing sailing hat.
Hey, we had you on last Friday, kind of right in the middle of it. It finished up after our segment and then the next day. Why don't you finish up your thoughts on the Saints and the NFL draft?
So I'll be quick because I say the same thing. All 32 teams in the NFL feel like they all drafted multiple future Hall of Famers right now.
Yep.
Everyone in the NFL is dancing on the desks, high-fiving each other and celebrating massive wins. No one thinks they lost in the draft. Everyone thinks they did amazingly well. And look, some of these teams are going to be right. But I always tell people, anybody who wants to grade the draft, I get it. Look, I work in media. I want people to see my content and click on our stuff. But most of the grades are clickbait. And it's just like you're grading what they were in college or projectability. And that's fine. I do that. But to try to say, we know this was good or we know this was bad it's foolishness. And I'll try to be quick with this. In 2010, the Saints won the Super Bowl in the 2009 season. In 2010, the Saints went into the draft, and I remember universally all the draftnik guys gave them unreal scores. Patrick Robinson's going to be a 10-year starter at DB. Charles Brown was a first-round offensive lineman. Matt Tennant was the best center in the draft. Al Woods is going to be a dominant defensive lineman. Sean Canfield is a developmental quarterback behind Drew Brees. It was the worst draft the Saints have had in forever. The only guy who was any good was Jimmy Graham, and he was the biggest wild card because he was a basketball player.
Yep, he was a project.
But everybody after the draft, the rich got richer, the Saints destroyed the draft, but none of those guys materialized. And then I go back to 2006, Sean Payton's first year here. I'll never forget I won't say his name, but one of the national people who I love saying, this was Reggie Bush and just a bunch of reaches after that. You got some character guys. You got some developmental guys. Jari Evans from Bloomsburg. Marcus Colston from Hofstra. Roman they said was a reach. Ninkovich isn't an NFL player. And that draft went on to be one of the best drafts in NFL history in the last 2 decades. And people hated it. So in a year or two, we'll know more about this draft. But right now, sure, the Saints got some good players, and hopefully they work out for that.
Not once, but twice you said you were going to be quick with the answer.
Yeah, I apologize. That was a complete lie.
Wow, that was a fabrication. NBA playoffs going on, Fletch, the highs and the lows so far.
The highs for the NBA are the fact that the Lakers and Golden State are still alive and playing each other. That you've got the greatest player of a generation in LeBron James. Whether you love or hate the Lakers, you'll watch, and he's an amazing player.
Yep.
And the Lakers are a star team. And then you've got the dynasty right now of the last decade in Golden State with an unbelievable, likable team or likable players with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Steve Kerr, Draymond's, all that. Is the most likable guy in the world. As far as a player, as a guy, sure, but as a player, he's an antagonizer. So that, to me, for the NBA, Golden State Lakers, I'm watching every minute of it. And then in the Eastern Conference, I still think in the West, Denver's up on Phoenix. Phoenix is finished. I don't think anybody's going to beat Denver. I think Denver's the best team. I still, now that Milwaukee's knocked out, I think Boston's really good. I certainly think the Sixers, if Embiid comes back strong, I think that's going to be a really fascinating series. I still kind of like the Knicks. Look, the Knicks and Miami are a fascinating series. So you've got some great matchups. But I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be Denver-Boston in the NBA Finals. And I think that's going to be a really great finals matchup.
Fletcher Mackel is with us. Fridays with Fletch. Trey Yen's been with you for over 45 years. They're in Mandeville at the foot of the causeway. Dine in or curbside pickup. Drive right up, right in front of the building, under the little cover, under the awning, and they'll walk it right out to your car. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. It's Trey Yen in Mandeville. So good. Fletch, Kim Mulkey is a machine. Number 1 recruiting class in the country. They're the defending national champs now. First, Haley Van Lith, this Louisville transfer portal, honorable mention All-American from Louisville. And now DePaul forward Anisha Morrow, a third-team All-American, averages a double-double, 26 a game, 12 boards a game. The number 1 and number 2 transfer portal eligible players. She lands numbers 1 and 2. Just Kim Mulkey, man, just rolling along, huh?
Yeah, I would say it's not too soon. We're 11 months away, 10 and a half months away. If Tiger fans want to start pricing those trips to Cleveland for the women's Final Four next last week of March, first week of April,
go
ahead and start looking at it, because if this team doesn't end up in the Final Four, I don't know. I mean, they are just loaded for bear. I mean, they were already good with what they had coming back, and you got one of the nation's best recruits coming in, and now you just landed the top 2 transfers. I mean, to go with Flage and Angel and the players that are still there. I mean, they're a juggernaut. I mean, they're just going to be a buzzsaw in women's college basketball. We're talking like perfect record buzzsaw, average margin of victory, 20 points. I mean, this is going to be, just complete and utter domination by Mulkey and LSU. On paper, look, they still have to gel. They still have to put it together. But, I mean, it would be unprecedented if they didn't just wreak havoc next year in the sport.
No, already have caught and passed South Carolina, arguably. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They'll be number one preseason. Hey, Fletch, 20 seconds, literally. Kentucky Derby thoughts, 20 seconds.
I hope the 2 from New Orleans, the Risen Star Stakes winner, Angel of Empire, or the Louisiana Derby winner, Kings Barnes, wins it.
Speaking of, I heard you checked out Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park yesterday.
I did. He was awesome at the Jazz Fest.
Yep. No, he's a good performer. He definitely can sing. They're not bringing out folks for fun at Jazz Fest. It's real musicians. Fletch, always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, Corey, thanks. That's
Fletcher Mackel joining us from WDSU Channel 6 Sports. Coming right back.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top bench more exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. 4 days in, 3 to go. Really, 4.5 plus days in, 2 to go. Jazz Fest 2023 rolling along on this Friday. Hey, our Humane May fundraiser continues, trying to save cats and dogs, trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May for the Humane Society of Louisiana. You can donate right now online, humanela.org. humanela.org. Hey, here's something for you. Latrim, the global manufacturing giant born and bred, based in New Orleans, all they have done the last few decades, the last few generations, is grow enormously all around the world. The shrimp peeling machine, the industry standard around the world. That led to even a bigger invention, the all-plastic modular conveyor belt. Number one around the world, the industry standard, Latrim, this New Orleans company. A culture of innovation at Latrim, and they continue to grow. That means they continue to hire. That means they're looking for you. Latrim.com has a full listing of positions available. Go to their website, Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. Hiring at their Elmwood facility and hiring at their I-12 North Shore facility. Latrim.com. Hey, this very segment right now with Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc., brought to you by Latrim. What's happening, Michael?
This very segment, this specific one, all segments are brought to us by Latrim.
Well, some segments are brought to you by Johnny's Speed Shop in Kenner, where you can get your 1978 Trans Am or Camaro jacked up in the back, small tires in the front for drag racing down Bonneville or Wisner. Not Wisner, Wisner. That's Johnny's Speed Shop on Williams Boulevard in Kenner. Vroom.
Have you ever been sued by the Kardashians or Kanye for any of those ads, or did they let them go?
They've let them go. Kim Kardashian and I had a few dates. I was in between Pete Davidson and I don't know, whoever she was dating at the time. And no, we smoothed things over. It worked out just fine. You know where I took her?
Sandwich.
You know where I took her?
No, Corey, where did you take Kim Kardashian?
It was a little messy. There was trash on the floor, but I took her to my Pontalba apartment building. That's right. The mayor left it a little dirty, but I'm a citizen. It's my Pontalba. That's where we went. She was impressed.
As much as anyone else's.
That's right. It was before the council acted. I took advantage of the situation. I have an entitlement mentality. Sue me, Michael.
Pontalba.
Yeah,
you know?
That's right. Hey, I was talking to somebody the other day. Who was I visiting with? And they were talking about the NOLA Coalition. Oh, maybe it was Raphael Goyeneche on Wednesday. And he's like, over 500 members. I'm like, listen to Raphael. Go, Raphael, go. Right on the money, huh, Michael?
Yeah, he's on message. I mean, So look, here's the good news and here's the bad news. The good news is that the NOLA Coalition is now something core. I think it's about like 530 members, very diverse, half nonprofit, half business, racially, geographically, politically diverse. And we continue to push for doing the common sense things in order to help make our city safer for our people today and better for our kids tomorrow. None of this stuff is new. None of it's rocket science. We know what it is. And we're slowly, having impact on policy. But the challenge is that ultimately the NOLA Coalition doesn't have any hard power. We just have soft power. We just have, the power of the people. And, we've got a strong central mayor set, a structure of government here in New Orleans. And so, there's an aspect of this, if I'm being honest with you, of kind of pushing a string. We can make things happen, but it's not nearly as quick or nearly as direct as the situation, requires, frankly.
No, I think we all get to vote and we put people in office, and sometimes that's not enough. And we need some kind of buffer in between that lets the elected officials know what the citizenry thinks is important. And when you guys throw out 530, 540 different entities, and it is a gumbo, there's no way for anybody to say it leans one way or another. There's an agenda or any of that. It's hard to ignore that.
Well, it's hard to ignore that, or it's easy to ignore that. I mean, let's be, again, honest, Corey, is that, because of the democratic process that says you get who you get and you don't throw a fit, there is there is both a power, but there's also a powerlessness, because ultimately it's up to our elected officials who are in office today to make the change, to take up the right policies and implement them. And there's a certain kind of, chunkiness to the democratic process, because, the problem with the recall that I had was not the recall itself, which was, we can kind of break down what the hell happened there, and I'm still not quite sure. But here's my thing, is that I believe that you should have a recall process. However, in order to vote in that recall process, you should have had to have voted in the original election. You don't get to bring something back to Walmart you didn't buy there.
That's interesting. Only those that participated in the original election. That's interesting. That's an interesting
my
angle.
point, right, is not that, it's not a critique of this particular recall as much as from a democratic process. You are voting people into office to do a job for a period of time. You know that when you decide to vote or not vote. And if you decide to sit it out and not vote, I think you've kind of forfeited your voice for that period.
I think that's a brilliant point. And Michael, on the bigger picture about just voicing your vote, that's half the deal. You can't just vote and then sit back and not do anything. You have to be civic minded. That's what the NOLA Coalition's all about. And it's ironic. Yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of the tolls being removed off the Crescent City connection. And here's an example of politicians going against what essentially the people wanted and fighting it to the very end. And a second election, a lawsuit, is what finally got the tolls removed off that bridge, where the needs of the few were trying to outweigh the needs of the many. And instead, we won. The rarity, the citizens won. So that grassroots stuff and citizens being involved and proactive and not just relying on the politicians, that's great stuff. And the NOLA Coalition's just a gigantic form of that.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think, Corey, that, whatever challenges or triumphs that we have, the only thing that really is dangerous ultimately to a community is complacency and people feeling disempowered. People have to feel that they have the right and, frankly, the responsibility to go out there and do something about what they care about and not just accept things as the way they are, the way they need to be. And so I like the fact that the NOLA Coalition has been kind of an arc where people who give a damn about the community have been able to come in 2 by 2 to try to make a difference. We raised over $5 million. We're focusing now a lot more on the DA and on victims, which are kind of new things that we're elevating going forward. And I hope that our dashboard we put out once a month going forward on recruitment is going to help focus people on the fact that, unless we're able to recruit better and retain even better than that, we're going to continue to lose ground. So I appreciate your support. I can't say that we have succeeded yet. The numbers just simply say that we have not, but we certainly have created a place for people to come together. We've made some good process changes. We have to keep pushing now till they result in, real better safety for our communities and people having better lives, more opportunity here. So, we're going to keep pushing on.
Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. This segment every week brought to you by Latrim. Hey, Michael, talking about keeping people at home, we invent the TOPS program. Pat Taylor, decades ago, comes up with this TOPS program, free education. It was for, at a certain grade point level, and then we kind of loosened that up a little bit. Other states have picked up on this. New York's model's pretty interesting. You get the TOPS program, but then the amount of time you were in school, 4 or 5 years, you have to stay in the state and work that amount of time. If you leave any time before that time period's up, your TOPS grant becomes a student loan. That would be a good thing to enact in Louisiana, where if you're going to take advantage of this free education at our higher colleges and universities, you have to stay in the state for 4 years and work.
I mean, Corey, there's no good argument against that, except that people now have come to get used to it as an entitlement. And I get that. It's hard to change that. But fundamentally, if we are subsidizing public education so that you can
use it and leave
from the state, I mean, it's irrational to say that we are paying you to go benefit Texas. And I'm not saying that people don't need to go to Texas for opportunity. That's part of our challenge. But it's a circular argument. The reason why the opportunity is in Texas is that people are not staying here. And the reason why people are not staying here is because the opportunity is not here. That's because companies don't see the people. So I think that, like any smart incentive, tying payment to performance makes a lot of sense. Do we have any chance of getting something like this passed? I don't know. It would, I'm sure it'll be a disaster trying to push it, because people feel this is now basically the only benefit that middle-class people get.
No, and then you're going to restrict that their kid has to stay around instead of going directly to Texas and some better job offer, blah, blah, blah. Michael, stick around. We're coming right back. More with Michael Hecht.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Hey, Michael, tell us about the World Trade Center and this inaugural LIT, L-I-T conference.
Really excited that the Louisiana International Trade Conference is going to be coming up. We took over the World Trade Center recently, and this is our opportunity to kind of bring together folks who are in the trade community, folks who are in the ambassadorial community, and create an annual moment to reassert and kind of, reestablish the fact that we have always been a leader in trade. As I tell my son, the reason why we bought 1/3 of the country from Napoleon in 1803 was basically to get the port of New Orleans. Napoleon needed the money, but we seem to have forgotten that we exist here because of international trade. And so we took over the World Trade Center of New Orleans to kind of reassert that fact. And this conference is, which is happening next Wednesday, is really meant to be the way that we have an annual convening to discuss the key issues. And so we're going to have leaders in world trade. We're going to have local consular corps members. And we still have a few tickets left, and people who want to find out more can go to the World Trade Center website, which is WTCNO.org, and come join us at the Pan Am Center on Poydras next Wednesday.
Hey, fill us in on FEMA and flood insurance and what's going on there, and basically what we're waiting until the end of the month to find out.
Well, FEMA and Administrator Marstead are still playing games. Risk rating 2.0 is going to raise rates for Louisianians about 143%, I think was the number. In Plaquemines Parish, 545%. The big problem is that nobody is able to explain where those numbers come from. So we don't know if they're accurate, and we don't know how to address them. And the reason, and actually Administrator Marstead has said this now on record in front of Congress, is that FEMA, Corey, this is crazy, but do you remember at your wedding when you paid for the photographer and then you ask for the photos, and the photographer said, no, you got to pay me for the photos. I mean, I'm extrapolating, but I'm assuming you had something similar to that kind of happen. And you're like, wait a minute, you mean we don't own our photos? And the photographer said, no, you just paid for me, not the photos. That's the fix that FEMA has itself in. I think that they paid for this model to be done, risk rating 2.0, but they don't actually own the data. And so we're demanding the data so we can understand whether it's accurate and how to react to it. But the reality is that if FEMA doesn't own it, they can't give it to us. And so I think that's what we've caught them in. And so we got to figure out how to fix that.
Yeah, obviously, how can someone in Plaquemine pay 5.5 times more for flood insurance than they're paying right now?
No, they can't. I mean, and so, it is the policy and the scientific and the financial elements of this are challenging to deal with, enough. But if we actually don't have any idea how they're coming up with these numbers, it's an impossible situation. So I believe that now as other states get on board with this effort, in the last congressional letter to FEMA, we had 51 congressional members sign on. It's going to be just like 10 years ago that eventually what's a pocketbook issue, an issue of what is moral and economically sound is going to come to bear. And, we're going to eventually at least mitigate these impacts, if not come up with better flood insurance policy for the country.
60 Minutes had a piece on carbon capture in Louisiana was mentioned.
Carbon capture is supported by the United Nations as a way we're going to reach our lower carbon goals. It's supported by the governor. We have about $30 billion of carbon capture projects proposed in Louisiana right now. Corey, I mean, you appreciate this as much as anybody. The push against carbon capture is coming from the extremes. On one side, there are people who don't believe climate change is real. And so they're saying we don't need carbon capture because climate change is a hoax. On the other side, we have people who believe that climate change is real and they believe that carbon capture works, but that's why they hate it. Hydrocarbons like oil and gas, less bad. And, we think that both of those extremes are not the right answer. We need carbon capture as a bridge to continue to use hydrocarbons as a way of powering our economy and also doing things like supporting geopolitical public safety. And so I think that you're going to see carbon capture come to bear regardless of what you're hearing on both sides of it, because carbon is not benzene. It's not something dangerous. You breathe it. It's in your Diet Coke. And we happen to have been using this technology for decades. So this one has been handled poorly in the public sphere, but I think you're going to see it become a standard part of our regime going forward.
Hey, Michael, pre-Katrina, 20 plus years ago, a Grammy Hall of Fame, all music genres in New Orleans. I remember by the Whale Lot, by the Hilton, Convention Center Boulevard, blah, 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 blah. Never happened. Now there's a possibility, of a Louisiana Music Heritage Museum and, site for folks to go check out, Hall of Fame type thing?
Well, I mean, this is such a weird one, Corey, because how is it possible that this doesn't already exist?
Oh, exactly. It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's kind of the curse of riches, like being at a buffet that's so immense, but not having chopsticks to actually, eat the easy. But we don't have this. This is our chance to finally begin to monetize this culture that the world loves. And I think it's going to happen at that extraordinary development happening down at the River District. If you think about what the World War II Museum has done in terms of a reputation, in terms of bringing tourists.
Wow.
And this one is even more on target. So I think it's going to happen. The convention center's behind it. It makes tons of sense. And I think it's going to be a new crown jewel for the city.
Love it. Love hearing it. Hey, Michael, I got a bunch of more topics. Let's pick it up next week and do it again.
Hey, look, Corey, as always, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Yep, I'll meet you by the flagpole at Jazz Fest tomorrow. Michael Hecht, Greater New Orleans Inc., 5 o'clock powwow.
You're on the
next.
neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333.
Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The
Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What an action-packed song and video montage. It must be Hawaii Five-0 from like 50-plus years ago, early to mid-'70s. It was powerful. I was just a child, but I was glued to the TV every time this video montage and theme cranked up on the old television. Book 'em, Dano. It's Hawaii Five-0. The 5-0. You'll have to check that out somewhere else. It's the Neutral Ground with me, Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. A Fantasy Friday edition. 5 o'clock power hour of the Neutral Ground. I love it. You want to know why? Because it's a little bit after 5 p.m. on a Friday. Weekend number 2 of Jazz Fest. Almost 5 days in with 2 to go. 4.5 plus days in. 2 more to go. They open up the gates tomorrow morning and Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Jazz Fest 2023. Weekend number 2. No, nice weather days. Rain was expected. Instead of rain, just cloud cover and not so hot. Not a lot of sun beating down on you. Little bit after 5 p.m., Fantasy Friday. 100% of the work week in the books. 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of you. We like celebrating this very moment of the week. Friday afternoon, a little after 5 p.m. We put the spotlight on this time by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. That's right. You got the hard hat under one arm. You got the lunch pail under the other. You're leaving the factory. You're leaving the plant because the 5 o'clock whistle just went off. Yeah, you right. A little after 5 p.m., Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Can you believe Mother's Day is 9 days away? A week from Sunday? It's coming quick. A week from this Sunday is Mother's Day. Some of you hear me saying that and just get stressed out. What am I going to get her? Is she going to like it? Get her a day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa, the city's premier day spa. 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie near North Kenner, 2 on the North Shore, Slidell and Mandeville. And they're also in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. Guys, what are you going to get her? A day of relaxation at the city's premier day spa experience, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Is she going to like it? She's going to love it. It's exactly what she wants. I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away just in time for Mother's Day, 9 days away, a week from this Sunday, Mother's Day. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. Hey, by the way, you either know the answer to the question. If you do, you get 50 big bucks at one of the 5 area Woodhouse locations. If you don't know the answer, you cannot cheat. That would be going online, a search engine, DuckDuckGo, Bing, Yahoo, Google, none of that. No internet device, no going online. You either know the answer or you don't. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate. 766-9480. 766-9480. Who started the Jazz Fest in 1970? 766-9480. Who started the Jazz Festival in 1970? His production company. Give me the name. I got $50 for you at the Woodhouse. 766-9480. How much was a Jazz Fest ticket in 1970? 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. The original name of the Jazz Festival in 1970. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 1979 Jazz Festival. What made it special? What made that Jazz Festival unique? The 1979 Jazz Fest. 766-9480. 766-9480. What happens at the Allison Minor Music Heritage Stage? At the Jazz and Heritage Festival, what happens at the Allison Minor Music Heritage Stage? 766-9480 is the phone number. Official name of the primary corporate sponsor of Jazz Fest. The official name of the primary corporate sponsor of Jazz Festival 2023. Rouse's Markets phone number, 766-9480. If you have the answer to any of those Jazz Fest-oriented questions, I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Perfect timing. A week from this Sunday, Mother's Day 2023, 9 days away, a week from this Sunday. Get her what she wants, guys. A day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Simple. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Our Humane May fundraiser continues. Trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Go to Facebook, Humane Society of Louisiana. Check out their Facebook page and what they do. If you do that, you will go to humanela.org and donate. humanela.org. Our Humane May fundraiser going on right now in the month of May. We're trying to raise $10,000 for cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, goats and horses, animals that are being abused, not being treated humanely, emaciated, neglected. Step up, humanela.org. That's where you can donate right now, humanela.org. Jazz Fest 2023, 4+ days in now, just 2 to go, tomorrow and Sunday. A 70% chance of rain tomorrow. Sunday is cloudy, but no rain expected. We'll see. It was supposed to rain today. 8 hours of Jazz Fest, 11 to 7. More of those hours, like 6 of those 8 hours, had rain predicted. No rain today so far at Jazz Fest. Had a little rain this morning, like 5, 6, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and then it was quickly over with. Hours went by. The gates opened at 11. They've been open now for 6.5 hours almost, and no rain out in Gentilly. Yeah, you right. Boy, Kim Mulkey doesn't stop. We visited with Fletcher Mackel last hour from WDSU Channel 6 Sports. Kim Mulkey gets not only the number 1 player out of the transfer portal, she gets the number 2 player too. First, Haley Van Lith from Louisville. Now another All-American, Anisha Morrow from DePaul. It's a couple of starters coming in. Angel Reese. Got the SEC Freshman of the Year. Just amazing. Number 1 recruiting class in the country. Kim Mulkey, defending national champs. I figured it was going to take a few years to catch, and then you win some, you lose some to South Carolina. South Carolina is going to be the team to beat in college basketball for a little while. LSU is going to be the number 1 next year Number one team in the country. Not South Carolina, not UConn. Kim Mulkey already in less than 2 full years at the job has a national championship, number one recruiting class, number one transfer portal class, just nailing everything, just crushing it out the park. Unbelievable. It really is. It's like with the LSU baseball team, it's like you better book, rooms in Omaha. And for the LSU basketball team, the Lady Tigers, you better find out where the women's Final Four is and book tickets for that city. Hey, Fausto's Italian Bistro opened their doors about 15 minutes ago. They'll roll till 10 p.m. tonight because it's Friday. Dinner is Monday through Saturday night. But Monday through Thursday, it's 5 to 9 p.m. Friday, tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday, they go 5 till 10 p.m. When the weather's like this, outdoor dining, white tablecloth outdoor dining at Fausto's Bistro on Vets, or dine inside the climate-controlled dining room. Sit at the bar. Check out some sports action, some NBA playoff action, whatever you like. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. You won't be disappointed. Tonight for dinner, Fausto's Italian Bistro. Speaking of food, Frank Brigtsen next.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe, in the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Jazz Fest weekend number 2 underway. They'll do it again tomorrow and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. out at the fairgrounds. Hey, our Humane May fundraiser continues all month long. We're trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May for the Humane Society of Louisiana for cats and dogs and kittens and puppies. You can be in that number. All the money goes to the animals, 100%. HumaneLA.org is how you donate. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Believe it or not, Mother's Day is a week from this Sunday. 9 days and counting until Mother's Day 2023. A week from Sunday. Guys, get down to Maple Street, Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Real natural diamonds, diamond stud earrings, diamond tennis bracelet, diamond necklace. Real natural diamonds, 1 billion years old. Don't be fooled by these so-called diamond stores, diamond jewelry stores, peddling man-made, lab-created, 3-week-old diamonds. Don't get fooled. Get the real diamonds. It's a lifetime purchase. Don't get fooled. Go see Ken Friend at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. The Carrollton section of Uptown, the Riverbend section of Uptown. Speaking of, let's head to Dante Street, Brigtsen's restaurant. Frank Brigtsen joins us again on the program. What's happening, Frank?
Where you at, Corey? Happy Jazz Fest Friday.
Yeah, I'll take your line, TGIF, man.
Yes. Beautiful day today.
Yep. Which is
turned out.
It's kind of a catch-22 for you, Frank. It's a Friday, the end of the week for everybody else. It's sort of the middle of the week for you guys. Y'all go Tuesday through Saturday night at Brigtsen's, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not as big as Friday and Saturday. So this is kind of this is like the Wednesday for you for the standard person's week. You're kind of midway through your week. So it isn't, you're off over the weekend like everybody else, but you've been doing this nearly 40 years at Brigtsen's. So you love what you do, and you get excited about pleasing all these folks.
Oh, I do. I just love it. We've been rolling all week long, packed to the rafters with Jazz Fest visitors and locals and everybody having fun. Very festive and huge night tonight and tomorrow. And then Sunday, I rest. I've been working Saturday nights for 50 years, man.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, would anyone know that Jazz Fest is going on if they were in Brigtsen's tonight?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. There's a definite vibe in the air. People are dressed a little festive sometimes, but it's just fun. Everybody's here in New Orleans to have a good time, and eating out is part of that. And, you know, we have a lot of regulars every year that come from around the country, and for a lot of them, their first stop is Brigtsen's. And we had a lot of new people in last night that I talked to. So it's really fun. And it's our best 2 weeks of the year. So we look forward to it.
Lots of crawfish goodies still on the menu?
Oh, yeah. Plus, we got a new one. Kind of a a new variation of an old classic, Corey. We're doing, as an appetizer, crawfish etouffee, which we've done before. But this year, Chef Larry and I were talking about it, and, I said, well, I'd like to serve it with rice, I guess, but I really like corn mock shoe with it. So a couple hours later, Larry said, well, what if we make a corn mock shoe rice cake, a kala? So he did. And so we make mock shoe, and the corn we're getting the past few weeks has been really sweet and tender. So a sweet corn mock shoe mixed with a kala rice batter, and then cooked on the flat top griddle. So it's crispy and brown on the outside.
Similar to the thing you have in the barbecue shrimp.
Exactly. And our brown roux crawfish etouffee, man, it's a knockout, and it's flying out the window.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what color is that etouffee? Is it orange? Is it brown?
No, mine's brown. I make it the way I learned from Chef Paul. And over the lockdown a couple of years ago when we're closed, I wrote a couple of cookbooks, stay-at-home cooking. And so I made a sort of a one-pot crawfish etouffee recipe that you can make at home. And we use that as our base for the etouffee. Of course, we cook the crawfish to order, but we have the brown roux base already made with seasoned crawfish stock. So it's just a knockout.
That sounds so good. Now, is that an appetizer?
Yes.
Wow, that just sounds delightful.
It's wonderful. And we love to showcase classic Louisiana flavors to all the visitors here in New Orleans. And I think that really represents sort of a new twist on a real classic Cajun dish.
No, plus, Frank, it gets me excited to talk about it because jambalaya, etouffee, some of the most overused, abused dishes, anyone, anywhere producing it. It's not very good. It's boring. It's dull. It's been wrecked or ruined almost. It's hard to find a etouffee. And just when you were mentioning the brown color and what's in it, got me thinking of old restaurant Mandich on St. Claude and their old brown etouffee. Just fantastic.
Yes, indeed. Chef Joel English.
Boy, she could cook, huh?
Oh, man. She and Lloyd are very dear friends. I love them.
Yep. No, but they had that brown etouffee. I think they said that the crab bisque and that crawfish etouffee started with the same beginnings and then went into different directions.
Probably so. I was just going to mention that crab bisque. It was so good.
Damn, was it good.
A bowl of brown roux crab bisque with gumbo crabs in it. Oh, my goodness, it was so good.
It really was. They knew what they were doing. No, you got me tempted to come grab an appetizer to go of crawfish etouffee because just so good. And then Louisiana tails, just all different shapes and sizes, full of that good fat, right?
Yeah, the crawfish tails are really, really at their peak the last few weeks, and we've got a few more weeks to go. So this is the time to enjoy crawfish, and I think particularly the peeled tails. The boiled live crawfish is still great, of course, but this is the time of year when they start to get hard-shelled, but you can still enjoy the peeled tails in so many different ways: soup, sauces, etouffees, pastas, all kinds of things.
What else you got cooking at Brigtsen's? Anything else crawfish-oriented? How about the seafood platter?
Yeah, the seafood platter, Brigtsen seafood platter, the Shell Beach diet, has a few components on it. One is the grilled redfish with a crawfish and pistachio lime sauce. Also, a freshly cooked ramekin of crawfish cornbread with smoked corn butter. We have baked scallop on the half shell with herb scent cream spinach. And we put a new oyster on this week. We had oyster Laruth on, and I pulled one out of the vault that we haven't done in a while. I call it Baked Oyster Fortuna, and it's named after Lake Fortuna in St. Bernard, where I used to fish. And it's also a shrimp and crab meat topping, but with olive oil and breadcrumbs, kind of like an oyster mosca sort of texture to it.
That sounds good. Wow.
It's a seafood platter on the half shell, man.
You're at it again, Frank. Hey, what other seafood items? What fish you got going tonight?
We got speckled trout in today. I cut fish this morning. The speckled trout was beautiful. And we also got in triple tail, which would be our broiled Gulf fish tonight with crab crust. Triple tail is a unique fish. It's from the Gulf, and it is the most tender, delicate fish in the Gulf. Very mild, of course, and I'm very happy to get it. It's a warm weather fish, so we'll see it off and on throughout the summer.
Frank Brigtsen's with us for a few more minutes, live from his restaurant in the Riverbend. The phone number over there is 861-7610, 861-7610. They do to-go orders, 861-7610 at Brigtsen's. Frank, what are we missing? What else you got cooking over there? Any entrees that are standing out?
Well, what's really moving this week in the meat department is the pan-roasted pork chop with pork debris sauce and mashed potatoes, and then our duck dish, of course. A lot of people that come annually, they thinking about that duck when they walk in the door. So a half-roasted crispy duck, boneless, a l'orange with an orange sauce, and classic Louisiana dirty rice. Hard to beat.
Strawberry shortcake still rolling?
No, I took it off, Corey. I kind of gave up on the local strawberries for a minute.
It's
they
winding
were okay,
down.
but not great, and it was starting to wind down. So we're going to wait for the North Shore blueberries to come in, which should happen mid-May, and then we'll put on our red, white, and blue shortcake with blueberries and strawberries.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Still can get creme brulee.
And people are having a ball. Yeah, we got lemon blueberry creme brulee.
Yep.
Double chocolate cake.
That double chocolate cake is double chocolate cake is so damn good, and the pecan pie is outrageous.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna take the cake home tonight.
Yeah, the cake's just so good.
Yeah, it's just lovely.
It is. It's so moist. It's. I don't want to say. It's heavy.
A huge wedge of cake, and it looks heavy, but it's not.
Exactly.
It eats very light.
It does.
And it seems to me to be just right.
Yep. I'm assuming you guys are booked up.
Oh, yeah, it's booked. But the thing about Jazz Fest is, number one, people's plans change at the last minute. We had a 6-top cancel an hour before their reservation last night. The other thing about Jazz Fest is people eat later. They stay out at the fairground till 7, get home, shower, and then come out to eat. So they're not eating till 8:30. So the early seating oftentimes is the better one. And then on the late seating, we'll have last minute changes. So don't hesitate to call. Even though I say we're booked, don't hesitate to call.
Yeah,
because,
someone could cancel.
Yeah, we want to fill those spots.
Or not show up at all. 861-7610 is the number at Brigtsen's. 861-7610. Brigtsens.com is their website if you want to fire in a to-go order. 861-7610. Anything until we visit again next Friday, Frank?
That's it for now. Y'all have a great weekend. Have some fun and take care of each other, and we'll talk to you next time.
I might be firing in a to-go order with that crawfish etouffee appetizer.
Come on by, man. I'd love to see you.
Frank, you're the best. Thank you.
All right, Corey. Bye-bye.
That's Frank Brigtsen live from his restaurant. Crawfish etouffee is so damn good. But it is a dish that's been just watered down, like anyone thinks they can make it. It's like jambalaya. I would say 9 out of 10 of those dishes I would never order at a restaurant because they're just going to be boring, dull. I got to drudge through a plate of this. It's like bad red beans and rice or something. Bad gumbo. Who wants to deal with that? No, it's a shame. Jambalaya is like the worst. When I see like brown rice and just sausage cut up, and that's jambalaya, I'm like, really? It's kind of brown. I'm like, that's jambalaya? Really? Okay. And crawfish etouffee, which is really, I mean, usually it's very tomato based, can be like red or orangey and just too tomatoey and nothing really special or unique about it. No, those dishes have been ruined. So Frank Brigtsen doing a crawfish etouffee, it's like getting back to reality. Crawfish season, crawfish at their peak, Louisiana crawfish in a wonderful etouffee recipe done by Frank Brigtsen at Brigtsen's. It flips the script. It is a 180. All of a sudden you're like, damn, from something you're trying to avoid that is dull and boring, maybe even bad, to something that might be as good as anything you've ever eaten. Corey Johnson with you, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Humane May fundraiser going on now. You can donate, save some cats and dogs, humanela.org. We're trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate online, humanela.org. A week from this Sunday, 9 days away, Mother's Day. A week from Sunday. Guys, Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, real diamonds, natural diamonds. Get her some diamond stud earrings, a diamond tennis bracelet, diamond necklace. You can spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. They also have a room, an entire room, dedicated to real natural diamonds, everything in that room under $1,000. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street, in between Broadway and Carrollton. Speaking of Mother's Day, a week from Sunday, I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Little trivia action. You got answers? I got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse. Who started Jazz Fest in 1970? The original guy, his production company. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 1970 Jazz Fest ticket price, the original ticket price. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. The original name in 1970 of the Jazz Fest. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. The 1979 Jazz Fest, what made it unique? Something special. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. What happens at the Allison Minor Music Heritage Stage at Jazz Fest? What happens at the Allison Minor Music Heritage Stage at Jazz Fest? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. The official name of the primary corporate sponsor of Jazz Fest 2023. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. You know the answers to any of those trivia questions? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 area locations to choose from. 2 on the South Shore of New Orleans, 2 on the North Shore of New Orleans. They're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. Yeah, Mother's Day, a week from this Sunday, 9 days away, guys. Woodhouse Day Spa. Problem solved. You're welcome. 70% chance of rain tomorrow. Sunday, cloudy, but no rain expected. Today wasn't a 70% chance, but it was like 50 or 60% chance. And so far, 0 rain at Jazz Fest 2023 today out in Gentilly at the fairgrounds. It rained this morning like 5, 6, 7 a.m., and there's been no rain in New Orleans since. And was forecasted in the forecast for today. So, no, I got Saturday tickets only, or it's the only day I can go. I'm going tomorrow. Maybe bring a little rain jacket or something, but I'm going to Jazz Fest, even with this 70% chance of rain. Look no farther than today. No rain today, and it was supposed to be like 60% shot. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning, a New Orleans institution since 1940. Tired of your dry cleaner? Looking to experience the best? They got walk-up locations. They got free pickup and delivery. They've got manless locker locations. YoungsDryCleaning.com. Find them online. YoungsDryCleaning.com.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org. Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. 5 o'clock power hour. Thanks for joining us. Hey, please donate to our fundraiser. Trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May for cats and dogs and kittens and puppies. We call it our Humane May fundraiser because it's all for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Go to their website and donate right now, humanela.org. Let's start the weekend right. Go to their website and donate right now, humanela.org. Jazz Festival 2023. About an hour and 15 minutes to go, and that'll be 5 of 7 days in the books. They'll crank it up again tomorrow morning at 11, do it again on Sunday at 11. Till 7 p.m. both nights. Nighttime concerts tonight and tomorrow night, all over town. All over town. Go to the WWOZ website. They'll have that live wire. You can check out where stuff is, who's playing, what time. I mean, some of these places like the Maple Leaf. I know in the olden days, I can't believe it's changed too much. I would think with Corona in the rearview mirror, if anything, they're going back to their roots. You know, the 10 o'clock show would start around 10:40. The midnight show would start around 12:30, 12:45. At 2:30, they'd have some band going off. There might be a band going off at 4 in the morning. Just insane. Insane. Nighttime concerts are strong. John Baptiste popped into the Maple Leaf earlier in the week. Played for about an hour, I believe. Jazz Fest 2023, rocking and rolling the pulse around the city. I mean, I might tonight or tomorrow night, I'm like, less than a mile away. I might go roll into the Maple Leaf. Sometimes I'll go to the Maple Leaf and I won't even go inside. It's not like I'm trying to save money or not pay the door. It's just, I'm just going for like 30, 45 minutes. I just sit on the bench outside. I'll see a couple of friends I know or something. Like last week, I was talking to Jack from Giacomo's, the owner and head chef. I was talking to Frenchie, the artist, by his gallery. Some other cats I knew. So I might pop over there. I might pay and go inside. Sit in the patio, get up right by the stage, whatever. Now, lots of live music. Just about every live music club going into the night. And then cranking it all back up tomorrow. 70% chance of rain tomorrow, but today was like a 50 or 60% chance. And we got rain till about, 7 a.m., 7:30 this morning, and no rain since. So hopefully this 70% chance tomorrow is just simply wrong. I mean, it gets updated all the time. Weather.com, wherever you get your weather. No, tomorrow's still 70%, but it's supposed to have rained every hour since I've been on the air, like before. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, supposed to be raining right now, and there's no rain. So hopefully there isn't any tomorrow. Sunday, kind of partly cloudy, but no rain at all expected Sunday for the final day, day 7 of Jazz Fest 2023. That thing just flies by. Really does. Corey Johnson with you, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Speaking of Jazz Fest, a few minutes left in the program, a few minutes for you to be able to pick up a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate, the city's premier day spa, a week from this Sunday, 9 days away, Mother's Day. You got answers to these questions? If you do, you got an answer to any one of these questions, I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Who started Jazz Festival in 1970? His production company. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 1970 Jazz Fest ticket price, 766-9480 to participate. The original name of the Jazz Festival in 1970. Rouse's Markets phone number, 766-9480. The 1979 Jazz Fest, what made it special, unique? 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. What happens at the Allison Minor Music Heritage Stage at the Jazz Fest at the Fairgrounds in Gentilly? What happens at the Allison Minor Music Heritage Stage? 766-9480. Official name of the primary corporate sponsor of Jazz Fest 2023. Their official name. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. You got the answer to any of those Jazz Fest oriented questions. 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. How you participate in the program, dial us up. 766-9480. 766-9480. Man, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Fletcher Mackel joined us from WDSU Channel 6 Sports. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Frank Brigtsen just joined us a few minutes ago from Brigtsen's restaurant. That was in the 5 o'clock powwow. All of it brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra, right on the corner, right on the price, the car corner of Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kennebra, the big store. Lord, for nearly 50 years. Number one in the region. Lamarck Lincoln, the number one Lincoln dealership in the state of Louisiana. The Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. And now the legendary Ford truck and SUV dealership under the Lamarck umbrella. Yeah, the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway in Elmwood. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park just does not slow down. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
That's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios. Even with a Jazz Fest weekend, River City's Total Maintenance is there. 99.99999% of us, me, you, watching, listening to the program, not going to need air conditioning help. But somebody out there is going to need AC help over the weekend. Weekday, weekend, overnight, holiday. Fair and honest, Lucas and the boys from River City's Total Maintenance are there to get your air conditioning running again and quickly. Honest, air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's all you need. NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. 5 o'clock powwow. Humane May fundraiser going on. Go donate. Let's save some cats and dogs. HumaneLA.org. We're trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Go to their website right now and donate, please. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Mother's Day, a week from this Sunday. 9 days away, guys. Nothing to avoid. I got 2 solutions for your problem. What to get her? Is she going to like it? What do you get her? A day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa, or real diamonds from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. Is she going to like it? She's going to love it. That day of relaxation from the city's premier day spa, the Woodhouse, is exactly what she wants. Real diamonds, diamond stud earrings, diamond tennis bracelet, diamond necklace. Real diamonds from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers is exactly what she wants. Woodhouse Day Spa, 5 area locations. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Maple Street, in between Broadway and Carrollton. Yeah, Mother's Day, a week from Sunday. 70% chance of rain tomorrow. If Saturday was my ticket, or that's the only day I could go, I had plans to go to Jazz Fest tomorrow. I'm going to Jazz Fest tomorrow. It would have to be a torrential downpour, just raining cats and dogs, like an inch of rain an hour for me to wait to go. Let's wait for the rain to pass, and then we're going to go. But otherwise, I'm all in. Because today, for instance, it was like a 60% chance of rain. What's that, Blue Boy? It did rain today, but the last time we saw rain was about 7:30 this morning. Exactly. What's that, buddy? Gates of Jazz Fest open at 11, so no rain in Gentilly. Blue Boy, you're right on the money. Have a great Jazz Fest weekend. Have a great weekend in general. See you Monday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.